Hey everybody, sorry for the late start. Tonight is on this our show. We are talking with Brock of Orange Elephant523 about picking with a family. As you see, somebody is missing from the panel. Mr. Kutos has had other plans that he wanted to try, so he got asked me if he could step away from the show for a while, and I said sure, as long as whenever he wants to return, he has a spot. So you'll have just me for a while. And with that, Rock, I want to say hi for the show and thanks for coming on. Basically, a last minute question I request on Wednesday night.
Definitely, yeah. Like I said, I'm Brock from the Orange Elephant523 YouTube channel. Sorry I was late. I was in a hangout all by myself. I was sitting there. I'm not sure what happened there. I think it was something on my end. I was trying to get it on the iPad. But yeah, definitely excited. I appreciate you having me on, man, for sure.
Well, my first question for you, well, actually, for the people that don't have your YouTube channel and don't follow you, let people know about yourself and
Okay.
stuff like that.
Definitely. I've been full-time for about a year and a half. We buy and sell. We primarily focus electronics, sporting goods, household items. We sell anywhere: eBay, Amazon, Craigslist. We've had an antique booth in the past. I wasn't real happy with it, so we did stop doing that. For this, I was in the military, and I was buying storage units. I was picking from garage sales and reselling on Craigslist and Facebook trading posts. And then I was one of the guys that got rolled out of the military. My number came up, so I had to separate early. So thankfully, I was able to go into this full time. So that all worked out really well.
Well, why don't we tell everyone, how did you come up with your name for your YouTube channel?
Okay, yeah, I get that a lot because I saw as soon as the comments came up, somebody asked the pink elephants. I saw somebody comment about pink elephants right away. It's pretty funny. Yeah, one of the first things that we ever flipped right when we got into buying and selling, we found this statue of elephants. We found a whole bunch of them at a garage sale. So we painted like one blue, one pink, and one orange. And as soon as we put them in our booth, we got them for like $1 a piece, and we were selling them for like $30 a piece instantly. But the little orange one we kept as like a mascot, and then 523 is our anniversary, so it's just like a subtle way to have something about us in there. And it was just something cool and different, and I wanted to stay away because for a long time, we did furniture and we did things in that realm. And then we've kind of morphed into the electronics and FBA. So it was a name that could grow with us, so it worked well.
I think it did. Well, I was just put that another question I had was any particular niches? But you kind of really covered it. But I know some of your videos you go into video games and stuff like that. So
yeah, definitely. I live in Austin, Texas. I actually live maybe 15 minutes from the Bonafide Hustler, if you know his videos. So just because of what's here, we do a lot with electronics, video games. And then what you don't see as much is we do a lot of sporting goods, wakeboards and surfboards and all that thing. Those things are huge money, huge sellers. Anything in the outdoor apparel, we see a lot of outdoor apparel. We see a lot of outdoor like jogging strollers. You get a nice jogging stroller and you're talking hundreds of dollars. So those are terrific flips.
Well, we have someone that wanted to thank you for your service. Dixie Girl 999 wanted to thank you for your service.
Thank you. My pleasure.
And yeah, you must be close to Deb pinching pesos because she said she's like 5 minutes or away from Chris. So.
Yep. One of the Deb and I, we bump into each other every once in a while at the Goodwill. Probably the funniest of which is when I walked past the aisle to say hi to her, and she turns around and she picks up like $90 worth of calculators that I walked right past. That was pretty funny. So, I can't believe I just did that.
You're more worried about saying hi instead of working.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Lost focus. There went $90, but no, I was glad. She works hard. I'm glad she found it.
For the fans, viewers, just since I do not have Sean, hopefully Brock can help me catch some of your questions when you have some for him, because I have to keep track of what's going on here with the guest.
Definitely.
This will be my second time doing an actual individual interview type of thing. So
Okay,
it's
cool. Yep, I got mine. I'm side by side. So
okay. How hard is it for you and your wife to pick with your kids around you?
hang on one second. Black Eye Joe, or is the echo better?
Oh, I think somebody said that it was on their end. They had Facebook open at the same time, so they were.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. I just want to make sure we were doing. I didn't want to be echoing the whole time. It's
I'm
uh,
not hearing an echo. I don't know if anybody else is.
no, I'm not. But I was just making. Just want to double check. I'm sorry. Can you say that question one more time?
How is it for with you and your wife picking with the kids, your young kids? I know you're pretty young, right?
Yeah, I have a 5-year-old boy, a almost 2-year-old boy, and then my wife is due in January with another boy. So we're pretty busy. It's definitely very interesting, and I'm glad that we're getting to talk about this because this is something that's real life, and it doesn't matter. People, let me just clarify one thing real quick. I know I see a lot with I call them Facebook glory posts. People talking about how they're full time or part time or whatever. And at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. Don't be bottled down by a label. Just do your business what works for you. So, obviously with these kids, I got my wife works 2 days a week at preschool where Finn goes to school. So it's pretty cool. I get to stay home with my younger son those 2 days. So we're home together. Um, and that's something that, wouldn't be possible if I was doing the 9 to 5. So what we've done is pretty much Monday through Thursday, I get started about 10 p.m. and I work till 1, 2, 3, something like that. And that's my time that I'm listing and prepping items and doing FBA shipments. Wednesday, I pretty much spend all day at the thrift store. We got a gazillion thrifts in Austin. So that's a day that my wife's home with the boys and I'm just going all day. Saturday, I go garage selling all day as long as I possibly can. But then intermixed with that, like throughout the week, we've got a couple of thrift stores real close. So we'll take the boys out, and you'll see that in videos sometimes. Like, as long as we're only going to like 1 to 2 thrift stores, they're pretty good because we'll just kind of pair off. Like, each of us will take one boy. So normally Finn, my oldest, he's pretty good with the video games and the toys, and he knows his stuff he's supposed to look for because he gets quarters if he finds good stuff. He flipped a leap pad last week. It was an instant sale. He got it for $1 and it was like a $23 instant sale. So he's definitely getting better and better. And it's fun because now he's kind of getting the fact that, buy and sell. So it's fun taking him to it, but we definitely have to be realistic with it and realize that at 1 in 5, you can't be in a thrift store for an hour, so you got to keep it moving. And it helps. We do a lot of toys. We do a lot of games. And Finn and I both like the video games, so that helps a lot. So.
Had he ever said, "Dad, I want to keep this instead of trying to sell it"?
Oh yeah. I got a really Nintendo 3DS. I mean, retail on it's like $200, and he has it pretty much works like this. Like, Dad gets a console, and then when Dad gets a newer console, it's nicer from a deal. He gets my old console, so he's always like one console behind me for DSs. So he was trying to get me to upgrade so he could get my old console because we got a nice one that came in this weekend. And it's like, no, that's not gonna work, buddy. We gotta sell it. So he's pretty good. He's a good kid, and he has declared himself the official video game tester. So it's pretty funny. He's enjoyed it, but he's really, in the last couple months, I've noticed a big change because it's gone from I want to keep everything to, okay, well, can I test this or can I play with this? So he's definitely getting it, but it's tough for him, because it's like we get some really, really cool toys coming through.
Well, that was going to be one of my next questions was, did the kids test and try cleaning things for you?
Yep, definitely. A little bit, I got to come behind and make sure, double check and everything. But Finn's pretty good because he had a DS with a power issue, and he knew it right away and was able to tell me. It's funny to hear him. He thinks he's like 30 years old. So
Dwayne at Mothership's Product says, haven't seen Finn in a while. Does he have an agent?
Yeah, his agent. Yeah, they're working me for more money, That big Google AdSense money, man. It's like 50 cents a video.
Yeah, I just started doing it in July myself. So is there, oh, you kind of answered this, but does your Does your wife go out on any schedule, like on a schedule type without you, like to do her own thing, see if maybe she can come up with something that you haven't found?
A little, a little bit. Abby's pretty good. She's the business I do run 95% of the business, but she likes going to the thrift stores. And the biggest one of the things like that I talk about quite a bit on my channel is, yeah, it's good to have money coming in and it's good to be selling things, but the part that gets skipped over is you got to watch how much money is going out. Because if you're making $10,000 a month, but you're spending $11,000, you're going to be perpetually behind. So one of the biggest thing Abby does for us is going out to the thrift stores, and that's where like all our boys' clothes and shoes and clothes for us, like that's all come from Goodwill. So she's saving us all kinds of money there. And then while she's out, she'll call me and say, hey, do you want this or do you want this? So she does she's pretty good to where she can pick up a lot of like the $1 to $5 items that sell for like 20 to 25. But she definitely, and then if she's growing more and more as far as the things she'll go ahead and pick up. And then it's great to have somebody else out there with you. I really like going to the thrift with her, or anybody, honestly, because you get an extra set of eyeballs, you get an extra opinion. That's great to have. So kind of it works. She likes going to Goodwill, so it's a way for her to shop and help the family.
Trying to see if to catch up to any more questions. If you see any, just let me know and you can read them off, or you can just answer them if you want.
Okay, here we got to get Dwayne, because no, Dwayne, I'm not in the bathroom. I'm in the kitchen. Thrift Daddy, fast sellers on Craigslist, not video game related. Keurigs, but they will not sell during the summer. Jogging strollers, but the front wheel needs to swivel. And furniture that's made of real wood that you're willing to underprice. That's one of the techniques I use at garage sales. I got a pickup truck, so it'll, how much you want for the dresser? Oh, wait, are you willing to take the dresser? How about 10 bucks? Well, how about $5? Then you give me all these games for 10. Not like I'll take it with me, because people just need dressers and that big furniture out of there. If you're willing to work big furniture and take it for them, you can get a discount on your other stuff that you're buying.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of my other questions was, how did you work out your Craigslist deals? I know you did one video, if I remember right, where you went out at nighttime.
Yep.
And you were like, how many? I don't even know. You went like 5-10 miles away from your house or something like that.
Yeah, that one, the fellow didn't have a car, so we met at the bus station. It's a little bit, that's, don't do that until you do a lot of Craigslist. Bus station is like a slasher movie waiting to happen. Now, honestly, I'll tell you that video now check your state laws. I had my phone and my shirt on record for liability purposes, and then I didn't tell him I was recording him. But if he had started acting weird, my intention was to tell him, hey, I'm recording and uploading this live to YouTube, so don't do anything silly. It's just a nice little thing. We've done thousands of Craigslist transactions. I've had one goofball. Anytime, if I think the person's a goofball, I just stop. I just don't answer. That's kind of how, once you do it enough, you kind of realize like, oh, this guy's not worth it. We're not selling him. There's other people that want this.
And how far is the furthest you've traveled with the kids for a picking trip?
Well, we actually across the country. So we live in Texas. We're centrally located in Texas, and then we have family in Illinois and we have family in Pennsylvania. So last year and this year both, we've been able to go there and back, and it's one of those things where it's a lot of fun. It's awesome videos to do, and it's good time. So we'll try to hit the pawn shops and Goodwills. And it's good to pick in different areas. It's one of the problems with YouTube and watching videos. Like if you go out and look for surfboards, like in Illinois, you're never going to find a surfboard. It's just not going to happen. But I can find surfboards here. So and that's kind of like I don't ever see Robert Graham's, but I see Scully, which is a high-end pearl snap. I see that frequently. So it's cool to pick in different parts of the country because you learn different things that are valuable. Because like, wow, I've never seen that before. But yeah, we've gone up to Illinois. So I did some picking in Pennsylvania last time, and I do a decent bit with pawn shops. I'll try to work a wholesale deal. If I can get a ton of stuff, they'll give you a pretty decent discount.
I'm seeing a comment here from Thrift Day. He says he sells LPS on Craigslist because of you.
That's what I like to hear. Yep. Yeah. He's talking about not the soundtrack. He's talking about Littlest Pet Shops.
Yeah,
And that's
right.
exactly, yep. I pull the dogs and I pull sometimes the cats. It was actually pretty funny. When I uploaded that video, there's a big Littlest Pet Shop community on YouTube. So in the video that he's talking about, I say like, all I do is pull out the dogs and then I sell those on eBay because a Littlest Pet Shop dog can be like 25, 30 bucks. And I'm talking those little dinky little dogs that are like 1 ounce. And then the rest, if I got 20 of them, I put them up on Craigslist, 25 bucks, something like that. And then they're a hot seller because they're like $8 a piece retail. So it's a good deal for everybody.
Well, I'm seeing we have 25 viewers tonight. I'm going to do a couple of shout outs if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to flip through. If you do that, I'm going to flip through, make sure we're not missing any questions.
Okay. That'll help me out. That helps you. We got Mr. Sadie, 123, who was the first one in the chat tonight. We got Texas Scout Treasures, Margaret, who said hi to you earlier. Hey,
Margaret.
The FBI Life. We have Dixie Girl, Wesley GW. Hey, Wesley. Thanks for popping in. We also have Dwayne, Mothership Products, Vintage Philly, PA. He said he's going to try to teach his cats how to source and list, and they're not catching on. Okay. And that's Berta Bell. Hello. And I'm not seeing any questions as I'm looking, so Donna Horn is here. Chartered Benches, Angie, who was our guest last week. The Albatross. Black Eyed Joe, all the way from Australia. Oh, it's not too early in the morning there, Joe. You gonna say something?
I'm sorry. Yeah, it cut for a second. Yeah, I just wanted Dixie Girl 999 while I scrolled. I'll just, if I can pop in real quick. She said something about, I must have been when I was talking about Abby and thrifting. She said women are good with money. Yes, definitely. And she said she doesn't trust Craigslist, being a woman. That's true. Abby doesn't do Craigslist on her own. The only thing that I would say is if you know somebody works at the police department or you have something, you'll see in my videos occasionally we'll go inside of a coffee shop. I picked like the nicest, ritziest coffee shop in the area, and I'll go sit inside at the table and make them come into me. I've done that before.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
Is there anywhere in the country or in the world that you'd like to pick if you could?
Australia, they have this annual thing where people put all this stuff out on the curb. If you watch the Aussie pickers, they get like ridiculous stuff just out of the trash. It's like a spring cleaning. I don't really quite understand it, but I would love to it would be such a cool way to do it.
No doubt about that. Anywhere in this country that you'd like to pick if you can get there?
I haven't really spent a lot of time on the West Coast. My wife is trying to get all 50 states. She has like 40 something of them. So it would be cool if we could head like up into like Washington or something like that. That would be pretty sweet.
So yeah, hit California bonafide. Hit California and work your way up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I got a couple buddies. Young's in California. I have a buddy Kevin in California. So it'd be fun to spend some time with them. Those guys are both solid. Oh, and then this is fun. I like when I make comments like this. I said the dogs for Littlest Pet Shops like 20, 30. Thrift Daddy's done 40 to 60. And Margaret watched my video, found a dog, and sold it for 41.
Well, that's good. We have a question here from Wesley GW. Yes, how do you deal with shipping large items, especially if the shipping is more costly than the item?
That's when you run the free shipping scam that is frequent across eBay. So pretty much we run into that. Like I'll flip military gear and some of those big oversized backpacks, especially if they're real heavy, or a big helmet, something like that, you can get kind of costly on the shipping. So that's what I'll do is, if I know let's say it's a $30 item and it's going to cost you $40 to ship it, that's the time when I'm going to do $70 free shipping.
Okay, we also have another one from question from Vintage Philly, PA. He asks, "Hey Brock, I have a box of NES cartridges, but I don't have an NES system. Is there a way to check them?"
Number one, if it's good stuff, I'll buy them from you untested. Or number two, you can get online on Amazon, and I believe it's called type in like Nintendo system, and you'll start seeing these things that kind of look like Nintendos, but they're a new, like a different model. And it's basically, it's a little like silver or red box, and it's a remake of the Nintendo. It'll be like 25 bucks, and that'll let you test your games. That's actually what I have. The original Nintendos, they're super temperamental. I don't like them, so I have one of those new ones, like a Retron is one of the, that's a name brand, but there's different ones that you can use to test it. You can also sell them on eBay untested. Just put in the title untested as is. Plenty of people will buy them.
Joe Panico, Brock's link should be down below in the description already. Brock, if you want, you can type into a little comment so people can subscribe to you if they haven't already.
Okay, yeah, awesome. Thank you.
And we have Dixie Girl asks, she found one of the best items today. It's a Royal 1930s typewriter, about 50 pounds. How would you ship and box that when it sells being that heavy?
That's probably going to be more, call every antique mall in your area and find somebody to let you do consignment for it. Because something like that, if that thing's not worth, I'm assuming it's probably worth about 50 bucks. I'm guessing here. I'm just guessing off the cuff. If it's one of those things where it's going to cost you 50 bucks to ship it, and the whole thing, they're selling on eBay for 50 bucks, try to consign it with an antique dealer, or put it up on Craigslist, or you can do eBay local pickup. I'm not a fan of eBay local pickup because you can't prove that that they took it. But yeah, that would be it. Otherwise, what you're going to do, like if you do ship it, just kind of for general knowledge, what you want to do, you get the big thick bubble wrap, you go around this way, you go around this way a couple times, and then you just tape the heck out of it like crazy. Put it in a smaller box or cut cardboard to fit around that. And then you're going to put that in a second box filled with paper and then pad the paper around. So you're going to box it twice. That's how you're going to get those fragile, really heavy items. We shipped, it's called a guillotine. It's an old school paper cutter. And this thing was just absurdly heavy. And it had a big metal like spike basically for a handle. So for that one, like it just bubble wrap box. I boxed it again, and the handle on that thing was so sharp. I actually just took cardboard, like where the handle touched the box, and I cut strips of cardboard and I taped it on the end of the box. And it looked super like weird looking until you open it and you realize that there's this big pointed handle. So I just taped and taped and taped. So when in doubt, keep taping.
Mr. Sadie, oh, okay, I guess you answer his question. Mr. Sadie, Brock is from Austin, Texas.
Yep.
So like 5 people from Austin, or actually 3 people from Texas, 2 from Austin. I know them in the chat. And let's see, Birthday asks you, have you ever had problems selling eBay local pickup?
No, I won't do it. If it's something that I don't want to ship, I'm just going to do it on Craigslist, and I'll skip the fees completely. Berta Bell just answered my question that I didn't even think about this. She said they put out things so they won't be taxed on it. She's talking about Australia. Certain countries, you're taxed, like they'll say, okay, how many things do you own? Like how many shirts and how many cars, and they'll charge you a tax on that. That's why people are throwing stuff away. That makes complete sense. That's cool.
Dixie Girl said the typewriter that she got was selling for about $300 and she only paid $25.
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. Then I would do $300 free shipping. I would offer FedEx Smart Post would be how I like to ship those things. It's typically the the cheapest. They are rough with the packages. So you need to pad it well, get insurance on it. But just, yeah, do it like I said, double box it. I do if it's worth 300, or if it's worth like 250 and $50 shipping. Me personally, I'm doing 300 free shipping. So yeah, that would be something. Yeah, you got plenty of room to be able to ship it anywhere in the country.
Wesley had to go, so good night, Wesley. Thanks for popping in.
Thank you.
One of my other questions that I have is any particular places. Oh, I already answered that one. Okay, would you like? You say your son, your young 5-year-old is already kind of following your footsteps. Would you like them to do it as a rotation if they could, if they liked it?
Yeah, it would be interesting. I've actually kind of thought about this a lot. I would like to, whenever he gets older, I'd like to see him go work at McDonald's, honestly. I'd like to see him work at McDonald's or Walmart. I want him to work some thankless, crummy job that pays no money so he can have that horrible experience. The best experience I ever got was in the military and at Walmart and working at the hometown diner in Briningsville, Pennsylvania, where I made like $2 an hour. So it was $2.35 an hour plus tips. So it's a good life experience for him. I'd like him to at least do that some, but I'm definitely not opposed to it either way. If he wants to work for me or if he wants to do his own thing, I can definitely understand that either way.
Or he can see what it's like working like them and say, okay, I'm going to do scripting like that did on the side.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it didn't take me very long to decide that I wasn't a good employee. Yeah, Treasure Bench said, yeah, develop a good work ethic. Yeah, exactly, because he's only going to learn so much from me. I think it's good to work for other people and have that experience in the corporate world. And food service is about as thankless as it gets, and working at McDonald's. I'm not picking on McDonald's, but I mean, people, if you ever watch how their employees get treated.
Let's see. We have a question here from Joe Panico. Yes. Anyone see the post only on Facebook today about a store promo boosting sales until the promo period is over? Then sales dropped off for the reseller. Who posted the comment? I know I saw it, but I can't remember who said it. And I don't think Brock's in the Reseller Society. Are you in the Reseller Society, Brock?
I am not. I lack the self-discipline to stay off social media, so my social media exposure is very, very small.
Okay. Well, then Brock answered that question. I can't remember who posted it. So,
can you clarify that for me? Are we talking about an eBay store that ran a promotion?
eBay was running their store promotion for $4.99 a month for like 4 months, and somebody posted that when they did it, they had sales like up to wazoo or whatever, and then all of a sudden when the sales ended, and I don't know if they went for the full store, they all of a sudden weren't getting the sales that they were getting for those months that they were testing the store. So,
that possibly the only time that I've really seen eBay sales steadily decline is when you have items you shouldn't have bought that aren't in demand, or when you've stopped listing. That's probably one of the best things. Like, I don't work on Sundays. Sundays are a day off. But the other 6 days, I make sure, even if it's just one little thing, like I keep a box of like little Nerf parts, something I can list in 2 minutes. So if it's a busy day, I will literally just sit down and list that one $13 Nerf part, because I'm a big believer that it spikes your sales rank. And you'll start seeing, like last night I listed 7 video games, and then today I actually don't know how many sales. I think I had 3 sales. I know I for sure had 3 sales today. Because what I was seeing, and I watched this happen over months, is I wasn't listing on Saturday night or on Sunday, and sales would go good until Saturday afternoon, and then I'd see them die off, and then Sunday I'd have maybe 1 sale. I'd list on Monday, and then my sales would start zipping again. Running a 5% off in your store is definitely something that's really helpful.
I've jumped all over the place from 5% to 25%. In fact, the last time I had sales, I actually had it at 17% off.
Nice. Yeah, I'll do funny numbers like that just for fun. Like I'll do 11. I like 11. I like 11. I like 7.
I think the last one I just did is 22%.
Nice. That's good. You can
I know sales from it, but at least I'm trying different ways of getting sales.
absolutely, absolutely. And I think it helps. Like you can just run it for 24 hours. And then I think it does help you even for a little bit after that. I do see a spike in the, and then the other thing is, which really always really funny. I use best offer on a lot of items. Best offer with an auto decline option. So what that is, say I got something there for $50 and I say, okay, the least I'm taking on this is 40. You can go in there and you can set while you're listing it, auto decline anything under $40. So I don't even ever see the offer. And that's really good because here's what happens. Like say I've got Zelda up for 50 or best offer. Somebody will send me a $30 offer. As soon as they click submit, it pops up offer declined. Would you like to submit another offer? So they're already right there in it and they can just type in, okay, they'll try another offer. And if it's above, whatever I've set, it'll send to me for approval. But if not, it'll auto decline and it'll immediately pop up and say, would you like to submit another offer? Because I've watched, and a lot of times I'll get this offer. They get 3 shots at making an offer, and then they'll just sign into a different account and send me more offers. But so I'll see it all the time. Like somebody will send me $30 offer, auto decline, $35 offer, auto decline, $40 offer, and then I'll accept that. But I won't see it, and I won't be bothered until the $40 offer.
Okay. Mr. Sadie says, no social media. I knew I liked you. Laugh out loud.
Thanks.
Well, because I don't know, Mr. Sadie literally does not have a Facebook account. So he follows us on YouTube by our channels and when we upload stuff. So he's a loyal watcher of all of us.
I was gonna say I knew the name right away.
And let's see if there's any more questions. Okay, he asks, he's had a lot of slow and non-paying buyers on eBay lately. How do you deal with that?
Mr. Sadie, are you running mostly auctions?
Yeah.
It'll be it'll be a delay. I'll keep talking. Pretty much with me, what it is, we had some upstanding gentleman who decided he didn't need to pay me. They'll buy the item. Let's say they buy the item. He bought his shoes on Friday. If I don't have payment Saturday, I send him a nice message. And this is something really important. I don't need to beat the guy over the head with it on the first message. I actually started off positive. I'll say, congratulations on winning the shoes. And I just say that even if it was a buy it now, it stays with the eBay phraseology. Congratulations on winning the shoes. Please ensure payment by 5 p.m. Central Time this date, Saturday. If they ignore that, Sunday they'll get an invoice from me. Monday I'll open the unpaid item, and then I'll just immediately close the unpaid item as soon as I get the option.
Yeah, I know I personally have it on when I do have options, that 48 hours they have to have until to pay. Otherwise, and it's auto unpaid assistance kicks in. I don't even send messages. I'm like, you know what you want or not. Or eBay does enough work for us we don't necessarily have to double check all their work all the time.
Definitely, yeah. It's not normally if I'm doing a best offer. It's but like what I'll do, and I picked this up from Alabama Pickers. Dusty's definitely a real good people over there to watch. If I get a big lot of stuff for $100 and I can get one item that's worth like $130, I'll blow it out and try to just get my $100 back. I'll knock, I'll sell it up for $115 so that I can get, after everything, hopefully get my $100 back. That's the times when I'll take, I'll see best offers, but most of the time I'm not doing a ton with best offers. So that's why I'll go through the hassle of messaging them.
Mr. City answered your question. It's buy it now or best offer. No options at all. Well, if I can answer it before you do, Mr. City, you should have your buy it now should have automatic payment required. If you don't know if you haven't had that set, you should do that first. If buy it, but the best offers are a lot like options. You should have your automatic set up for X amount of hours or days for the buyer to pay up before you open a case.
Yeah, if it's really being an issue, Like I'll run into this every couple of weeks, so it's not a huge deal. But yeah, if you're running into it all the time, 100% what he's telling you. Make sure you're clicking that little button that says immediate payment required, and then yeah, after 48 hours, open the unpaid item, because really, if they don't pay in 2 days, they're probably not going to pay.
Yeah, I know a lot of people in some of the groups that I'm in say they wait 3, 4 days and they keep sending messages. And I'm like, if they didn't answer the first message, they didn't answer eBay's message. More often than not, unless it's like a real big emergency where they're in a hospital type thing, they're not going to be able to. They're not going to respond anyway.
Yeah, it. Boy, I tell you what, accepting a best offer from me is apparently the best way to get yourself in the hospital and have your grandmother die and lose your job, because it seems like everybody's excuse is that they're in the hospital. So.
Okay. I already asked you that question. I was getting that for earlier, but I said early. Okay. Any other tips that you can have that for any of these resellers or somebody that might catch this later that has young kids that for tips for whether it be time management for so that you don't have the kids crying in your ear saying, "I want to spend time with you," and you're working all the time.
Definitely. That was something, when I was in the Air Force, we worked, we'd work typically at least 5 and 6 days a week, and we would swing with the clock. So we'd work first shift and then work second shift. And then we'd work a shift that started at 4 a.m. and then we'd work a shift that didn't get over until midnight. So it was just all kinds of stuff, because I was an air traffic controller. So we'd have to rotate as guys were needing hours in the nighttime and guys were needing hours in the day. And we'd do all this stuff. And it was just, I hated it. Would get no notice, called into work. And it was just, it was terrible. I hated it. I hated the schedule. It's nothing compared to these guys that were getting, other guys getting no notice deployments and stuff. But that was definitely a thing for me. I didn't want that to become an issue again. So with what really helped everybody, it helped my wife and it helped me and it helped the boys, is having like set office hours of, at 10 p.m., like don't call me, don't ask me questions, don't do anything. And that's really helped. And putting myself in another room with the door closed, because when they can't see me, that definitely helps a lot. But it takes painful amounts of repetition for everybody to get with the program of, this is when mom's working, this is when dad's working. And that's what it is consistency. Like kids are really, really good with consistency, because they, like Finn only goes to school 2 days a week, but he knows when those 2 days are. And he knows like, oh, we're going to do this at school and then this at school. So kids like that consistency. And your wife does too. So, or husband, depending upon who you are.
And have you ever thought of one of your days that you're supposed to work, you just said, okay, we're taking a family day off, and you just like said,
oh yeah. If I wanted to work every day, I'd go get a job. Yeah, definitely. We went to the what's called the pumpkin patch on Friday. We try to do Fridays work pretty well to do like a family day, and then Sunday we go to church and we have Bible study at our house and stuff. So we're really busy on our resting day. But yeah, we'll blow off work and go do something fun. Or we went to Romania for a couple weeks this summer on a missions trip. We were working in the orphanage there, and we try to take a lot of time off during the summer. Like if you're doing this full time, July is going to be slow every year till the end of time, unless something crazy changes. January is always going to be slower. So that's when we try to stack our time off, because it's already going to be slow and you're not going to be making money. That's a good time to take like a couple weeks off or something like that. And that's good for everybody to have that to look forward to.
and,
So, sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, if you see something in the comments, go ahead and check it.
Yeah, Coco Chanel just said something super important. She said, I go into my office and I don't take my phone. That's one of my biggest pet peeves of cashiers and servers and everywhere employees that I see out working. Like when I go up to the counter and I got to wait for them to send a text message so that I can get customer service, that drives me insane. And there's a reason that companies have don't be on your cell phone policy. You need to have that phone policy for yourself. Because that cracks me up when I hear people telling me how they can send text messages to their buddy when they should be listening. Like that's not possible. Turn your phone off, put it away. Don't be on Instagram. Don't be on Facebook, because you'll be in the office for 4 hours working and you'll really be texting. That's something really good to do. I use the airplane mode a lot on my phone. just that way nobody can bother me. Yeah. She said, I'm assuming Coco Chanel. I'm assuming you're a woman. Sorry, I didn't actually ask. Yeah, that drives me crazy. The guy today at the Walmart, like, hi, trying to buy some stuff. Can you finish your text message and sell it to me? Yeah.
Is there anything that you would redo in your business that if you had the choice? Like a mistake you might have made or something like you did with the calculators. You went to say hi to Princess Pesos instead of looking at things as you watched that way.
That last part broke up. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
When you went to see, you saw Princess Debbie, like, instead of stopping to look at the calculators, so you lost out. So would you do something like that? Were you over going to be like talking to her as you're looking?
Yeah, definitely. I did good mistakes. The biggest mistakes. This is something kind of funny. I don't mind telling this. When I got laid off from the Air Force, I used to take our grocery money, like the money we needed for groceries for the coming week, and I would go garage selling with our grocery money that we needed for Monday. And it was a wonderful, wonderful lesson. If you want to learn how to quick turn and burn, I was out Saturdays till about noon or 1, 2 o'clock with the grocery money. I would spend almost all of it. And that meant I had till about Monday afternoon to turn and burn, get that money back so my wife had grocery money. So that is a wonderful, wonderful experience to have that absolute horrible intensity and pressure, because you can learn how. That's why I can flip stuff on Craigslist. It's like, yeah, I can flip that. Like people, like I'll just pick up random stuff. You give me enough stuff, you give it to me cheap enough, I can turn and burn on Craigslist. And it's that pressure. But what I should have done a long time ago is and I kicked myself for not doing this sooner. If you're going to be in business, really be in business. I have a business checking account for the Orange Elephant. It has business money in it. And whenever you're out buying, you need to pay that. If your account, if $50 is what you have to buy and sell with, you need to pay that $50 back before you're doing other things, before you're paying, other bills. So separate my money. That was a big mistake that I definitely made. I didn't really have any money to separate at the time, so it kind of all had to go in one account. And what are you gonna do? So you got to do what you got to do. But definitely that was a big mistake. The other mistake is spreading yourself too thin. I started Amazon FBA a year and a half ago, and I stopped for a couple months because I was trying to really concentrate on eBay. And I see too many people like, oh, I need to get on Kindle because I can make $800 million and I need to do this. I need to do retail arbitrage, whatever. Hey, you know what? Don't worry about what somebody else is doing. You worry about what you're doing. And for me, I went Craigslist. Okay, yes, I'm 100% confident here. Then I went to eBay. And then I went to Amazon FBA, and now I'm feeling good. I don't do retail arbitrage. The margins are too small. I feel like it would cost me money. It's just not my style. I might get into that more now that I've gotten more and more into Amazon FBA. Inventory count wise, I have about the same eBay and Amazon. I got about, so it's getting closer. So, but yeah, definitely don't spread yourself too thin. That was the biggest point there.
Have you looked into Bonanza?
Everything I've only ever heard negative comments about Bonanza, and it just doesn't get the traffic that I'd want to see. So,
okay, I know you. Well, I know I don't necessarily use it too often. I have stuff listed there, but it's like I don't list new stuff. I haven't listed new stuff in almost a year. But
yeah,
what I do know is if you pay for a certain store, you can have your Etsy, your eBay stuff, moved in. You can also have your Amazon stuff moved in. So
definitely, that's something. Yeah, that's cool. I like that Bonanza syncs. The one thing I would comment on Bonanza doesn't sync live. What he's talking about, like say I have 100 shirts listed on eBay, Bonanza can pull those and put them listed on Bonanza. The problem is that if it sells on eBay, Bonanza won't know for a couple hours. So you run the risk of selling the same t-shirt on eBay and Bonanza. In that case, I would recommend that you sell it to the eBay customer, that you ship it to the eBay customer, cancel the Bonanza order. that would be just because if you're gonna get in trouble with somebody, I would get in trouble with Bonanza, not eBay.
I just thought of something when you just said that. It would be ironic if it was the same customer. And they were trying to get two of the same shirt.
That's awesome.
It would be awesome, but also, tough because you're like, I can't tell you this because it was only one shirt, but wait a minute, you're the same buyer. So they give you the bad feedback on eBay for not having the amount that you want. How are you gonna handle it?
eBay first, Bonanza second. That's
Yeah, I'm saying when they give you bad feedback on eBay, saying that you didn't fulfill their full order, even though it's a different company, eBay might say, "Well, where was the rest of the order?" See, that's a catch-22. What is eBay going to do? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, just the eBay order was for one shirt, right?
Yeah.
So ship him that one shirt, and then you'll be fine for eBay. People don't associate sellers with eBay. That he probably in his mind, he's like, "Oh, I bought this shirt from eBay and this shirt from Bonanza." So you go on Bonanza and you let him leave you bad feedback on Bonanza.
Unless you get the same name with each place like I do. Anyway, start to wonder, wait a minute, it's the same company?
Yeah.
Well, I know one of my suppliers I used to do when I was looking for perfumes, when I was doing the drop shipping thing when I shouldn't have been, I would type in there what I thought was two different names, but they had .com and .net, and it came up to the same site.
Oh, weird.
So it's like, how you gonna? That's what I was saying. If they saw M&S, like my name's M&S Small on both sites, so if they buy a shirt from M&S Small on eBay and Bonanza, they might.
Then they okay. All right, fair enough. Yeah, I would cross that bridge.
You got me thinking that when it happened. It's like, how would you handle that? Especially,
I don't know.
They can't. They'll give you. They could give you feedback on Bonanza, but I don't think many people do. But if they try to give you negative feedback on eBay,
you'd be fine. They'll kick it. Yeah, don't. Yeah, that's the thing. People take negative feedbacks like it's the end of the world and like it's absolute. Always call eBay. Always contest that. Ask to speak to a supervisor. You're paying them hundreds and if not thousands of dollars a year. They can answer a phone and talk to you about a defect or a feedback.
at least till February. Then you don't have to worry about it at all now.
Yeah, then you're home free. Then all you got to do is ship on time. So, and there, I see in the comments, Pat and Margaret and those, they're saying how much they love Etsy. My goal, what I would love to find, and I'm keeping my eye out, if I could get like 1,000 vintage photographs or postcards or something super cheap at an auction or an estate, I'm gonna buy that and start an Etsy store. That's actually, I think it would be fun. I've done Etsy a little bit. Back when I had the antique booth, we had some of the cool stuff, just really cool, unique items that we would list on Etsy. Etsy's a fun place. Etsy is one where I would look at maybe doing some Pinterest or some Instagram, that sort of thing, where you're promoting it, and then you can build an identity around the Etsy store, because the Etsy customer is different from your eBay and Amazon customer. They understand like, oh, this is an Etsy store, as opposed to eBay and Amazon. Like I get messages from Amazon like customers, and they obviously think they're emailing Amazon directly. You know, it's just a different mindset. But yeah, Etsy's a really good place. Margaret, I don't know what, once a week she sells like $100 pair of cufflinks that I think look like nothing. So
yeah, I don't know if you watched the show last week. I don't know how often you get on YouTube to watch videos, but last week we had Vintage Angie, and she loves Etsy.
I did not catch that one. I kind of randomly catch parts of your shows. So I'll see if I hop on, I'll grab it. Oh, and yeah, Treasured Vintage is saying the customers are much nicer to you on Etsy. Yeah, definitely. My nastiest customers are eBay, for sure. You ever want nasty customers? Sell some video games or some sneakers on eBay. That'll good education for you.
How else do you stay motivated besides knowing that you need to make money for the kids?
You know, for me, I talked about this a little bit. Like, I don't really think of myself, like I talked about how much labels bothered me. And I think this part of this comes from the military, where it's like, well, you're an airman, or you turn wrenches, or you're this, or you're that. And, you know, for me, this is fun. Like, I really love this. There's nothing else I want to do. So I have a real passion for it. And it's kind of funny because there's kind of two different roads I see people going down. I do a lot of games, so a lot of guys that buy and sell games collect games, and they end up keeping all the good stuff for themselves and not really making any money. And the other people that like they just want to sell on eBay and they don't really want to pursue it like it's a business. That's kind of it works, but it's not the best mindset. Like I look at it just in entirety as a business, and I want to grow this business. I want to have something to leave to my kids, and I want to have something. I don't want to work a 9-to-5 job again. No thanks. That's not something I want to do. So it's this real passion. I'm in the process of buying a house. My goal is to pay my house off in 8 years. That puts me, even if I'm a couple years late, that puts me where I could pay cash for my kids to go to college. So there's this real passion, and I have the bigger picture perspective of college and houses getting paid off, and all that thing. And that's what, whenever you like, when you're looking at just eBay, which is a little tiny, you're looking at one sale and you're getting all bent out of shape over a negative, that's when you can get frustrated and lose your passion. But step back and kind of look at it like, boy, this is better than going for a part-time job, or this is better than working a 9-to-5. That's bigger perspective. That's what's going to help keep you focused.
Would you consider going into private labeling or something like that as a way to grow your business instead of staying as a drifter / reseller?
Yeah, it's if the margin's there. I've just never found anything, wholesale here. I brought some show and tell items. This is Ape Escape 2. This is a super rare PlayStation 2 games. For your video games, real quick little 5-second tip. The black label games are going to be worth more, as opposed to these with, you'll see them with different colors. Like they'll be yellow or silver or red. This is a re-release of the game, of this Kirby game. I picked this up for $1. It's has the manual, has the games, everything's in good shape. This is a $45 game all day on FBA. I picked it up for $1. So that's the kind of things, like I just haven't figured out, do I really want to put all that time into wholesale or private label and make 15-20% margin? That's just not enough margin for me. If I can't make, if I spend $1, I want to make $1 profit. If it's something I know for a fact I can move in 7 days, maybe I'll spend $1 to make 50 cents. But I just, the wholesale and private labels just never made sense to me.
Are you more of a slow dime or fast nickel or slow dime type of guy?
It depends. The only way you're going to get a good deal from me on video games is if I bought it a couple hours ago and I spent a whole bunch of money. I'll turn and burn something real fast on Craigslist. Because if you want to sell something fast on Craigslist, put a video game lot up there for cheap. And that's what I did yesterday. I had a Nintendo 3DS. It's worth about $100. It had 2 issues that were definite and were a no-go for selling it on eBay or Amazon. So I put it up there for $60 on Craigslist. And at if you got video game people, there's a 3DS XL. So this is a really nice 3DS. Put up there for $60. And I mean, your video game people are going to lose their minds when they hear me say that. It had issues. I couldn't sell it online, and by selling it for $60, I was able to pay for every other game that I bought in that lot. So now I've got all these games free and clear. They're all profit. So I'll do something like that. But normally, I keep money moving. If it's been here for more than a couple months, I want to get it. Normally, it just depends. I say sell it for as much as you can, but as fast as you need to. There's no sense, if you got electric bill due, don't be holding out for $5 more. That's just dumb. So
let's see if I can find any more questions. Do I have any questions for you us tonight? Please get them in.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Joe's saying low margin isn't bad if you have high volume. Private label is great for that, but it's very fluid. And the other thing that you're running the risk, I know people, if you go look, I don't have it sitting here, but most of the scanners, little barcode scanners that you see for sale, those are just private label. There's just it's 30 different people have all private labeled the same barcode scanner. So Definitely. Treasured Vengeance says, nice to be debt free. Houses and cars, everything. Definitely worth striving for. Yeah, absolutely. I bet she's a Dave Ramsey fan. So, and Treasured Vengeance is saying, yeah, always be ready for emergencies. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, they're going to happen. I promise. So, one other thing I want to touch on real quick. I think we've got a little bit, our viewers are probably, I think, a little bit different. So this is real quick. This is a video game lot. So these are bread and butter items for us. So you can see like these are some random titles. These are probably worth about 10, 15 bucks a piece FBA. This guy's worth 30 to 40 FBA. So one of the things that you can look out for at your pawn shops and that sort of thing, if you want to get into pawn shops, this game had a $20 price tag. This game had a $4 price tag, and I had one other game that I picked up in that lot for also had a $4 price tag, and I got everything out the door for 13 bucks. So one of the things, look for it at your pawn shops, and this is a good thing if you're going to get into negotiating, because that's where I make a lot of my money is by negotiating a good deal. A lot of times if the games are, so the asking price was $28, but because I bought multiple games, they gave me a big discount. So it doesn't really make sense, but pawn shops, if you understand, a pawn shop makes money by loaning and charging interest. They don't make money off buying and selling. So a lot of them just want to churn out inventory. So by buying 3 games, they give me this huge discount. So that's definitely something to look out for. Just something that doesn't really make sense until you do it a couple times, and you're just like, okay, whatever. But that's just something to kind of keep in the back of your mind.
Well, I was supposed to have Mike Peters on tonight, but he asked if we can move up to next week, so that's why I asked you if you could jump on. And he's coming on to do video games too. So I'll ask you this question. This is what he's kind of known for.
Yeah, definitely.
Doing sniping on eBay for games and whatnot, and putting them on FBA or just regular Amazon and MF. Have you ever thought of doing that, or have you done it?
I have a little bit. It's normally one of the things you're going to compete against when you're going to do that. You're going to want to use a bid sniping program. You can Google that. There's a bunch of different programs that will put in a bid with 5 seconds left for you. That's if we're talking about the same person, I think that's what he uses. So figure out how much you're willing to spend, and then you tell the program, okay, I'm willing to bid $100. So with 5 seconds left, it'll bid $100. I've done it a few times. Definitely, it's kind of just something like if I'm on eBay working and I see something, I'll go ahead and buy it and then send it into Amazon. That's definitely not something I'm opposed to. There's a ton of competition. Mike gets his deals because Mike spends like $500, $600, $700. You send somebody, a $500 offer. That's even if the stuff's worth $1,200, they're going to take a serious look at it. That's Mike gets his deals. I've only watched a few of his videos, but that's what it seemed like to me is he spends a ton of money, but then he can get some smoking deals for sure.
And how has it been hanging out with Bonafide when he put a green hangouts and their ride-alongs?
Yeah, Bonafide is fantastic. He's very calm in person. It's actually kind of funny the first few times you meet him, you're like, "Wow, really? Okay." So he's very relaxed. He's terrific. He's taken me out a ton of times, thrifting and garage sailing and whatnot. He was there. If you saw the video, we found the Nestle Lion, which is kind of a holy grail item for thrifting. It's I believe it was 1994 release of the Nestle Lion, and it's pretty much a life-size stuffed animal. So we were out together and with Hustler Hacks as well, and then the Lion ended up selling for $480. So we got it we were all three together. We got it for $21. That was awesome. So.
So we're up to 30 viewers. So let's see if they're catching. Oh, we have a question from Dixie Girl. She sees video games all the time. She has nothing to test them on, so she avoids them. She could probably make a fortune if she knew more about them. So I guess her question is, can you help her know more about them?
Yeah, the best thing to do is to use Amazon. When I'm pricing games, even if I'm going to sell a game on eBay, I'll go over to Amazon and see where most of the merchants are selling the game. It's because normally the merchant rate and the eBay rate are very similar. But what you can do, you go to Amazon and just look at the top 100 Nintendo Wii games, and then you can get an idea of what they're worth. And then you go to the top 100 Xbox games, and you can get and Amazon has those lists built in for you. So you can use that to learn, and it's real simple and it's real straightforward because they've just got this list of, okay, these are the top 100 best sellers. That's not going to be the top 100 worth money, but if they're the 100 best sellers on Amazon, it means they're common and you're going to see them a lot. So. Hey, what's up? Rake and Profit just hopped in. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, Steve. Good to see you here.
I don't know. He's been slacking. I think he's gone like 2 days without a video. You know, he's got to put one out about every 12 hours.
Yeah, I saw you did a 30 days trip.
Yep. Yeah. He did some serious sourcing for 30 days. That's crazy. Actually, he just asked me how many games I sold my whole life. I know for a fact it's over 1,000. I'm honestly not sure. I've done a couple of big lots on Craigslist because I remember last summer when I did like a 40 game lot and a 30 game lot, and then just turn and burned a bunch of stuff. I don't know. I kind of wish I knew. I did really, really well. I got 80 video games last weekend. That was unreal. All garage sale. It's craziness. Hey, what's up? Yeah, Chad's in there. Goldfinger Picker. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, he said, hey, Rock, I don't think we've met. Nice to meet you. Heard good things about you, so.
No, yeah, somehow I've never been on a show or anything with him, actually.
Well, I'll ask you right now if you're willing. Are you willing to do a little bit of a hangout, after show hangout for a little bit, and maybe some people can come in and meet you that haven't met you?
Yeah. I can't stay in for a ton of time, but yeah, I can definitely hang out for a few.
Well, because I know I usually do this for an hour and a half, but I ran out of my questions, so unless there's any more questions.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, anybody have any questions? I'm eBay. Oh, hey, yeah. It's Ronnie Hart's birthday, and I think it's Chad's birthday as well. So happy birthday, guys. So, Berta Bell, the Orange Elephant523 on YouTube and on Facebook. And I just started messing around with Instagram. I'm building my self-discipline for social media. So it's the Brock Parks on Instagram is me. The Orange Elephant523 on Instagram is Abby. So.
Okay.
But yeah, if you guys anything eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, working with your spouse is always is fun. I like Abby. We started dating in high school, so it's good. We have that good solid friendship. Definitely have a solid relationship before you start trying to work with somebody that you're married to.
Yeah, I know how that's going. Well, my wife, I always say, my wife and I are 50-50 with all our own little issues that we have. So I do most of the picking. She does the checking to make sure things are working right. I do try to research. I do the listing, and then she'll pack it, and then I'll ship it. If I have to, I'll walk it to the post office type of thing. So it's like each little job, each person has one.
Yeah, if you guys don't know what he's talking about, there's one reason I caught his show. I caught your show a couple of times, man, and I popped in right when you said I had always assumed Walking Picker was from The Walking Dead, and when I found out that you were walking to Goodwill's and to the post office and stuff because you can't drive, that's when I said I wanted. That's when I had messaged you guys saying I wanted to be on the show because I was like, anybody who can do that is good people in my book. So.
Well, I haven't, to be honest, this summer I haven't really gone out because of our own the heat here. Plus, like I said, the medical. Well, during the summer we were hitting 100 degrees.
Yeah, same here. It's nasty.
I forget who I was talking to. Somebody else said, Leslie. She was in Austin like you. And I was sitting there saying I'm 90 degrees. She's like, oh, it's 80 down here. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're supposed to be hotter. You're south of us.
Yeah. Austin's not bad actually. We don't get too bad. Berta Bells, real quick. Yeah, we'll put the link to my YouTube once it's a live or
It should
once it's a
already
video.
be in the description.
Yeah, I can't put a link in.
Well, actually, Brock, if you actually type like hi or whatever, they should be able to hover over your name in the chat.
Done. There we go. There's me. Thank you. I didn't think about that.
Yep. So now all they gotta do is hover over your name and it says subscribe, and then they'll
Yeah, go subscribe and come back.
Let's see. Any more last minute questions?
So, Mr. Sadie was right once. His wife corrected him. So yeah, definitely. I'm up for whatever y'all want to talk about.
All right, everybody. Well, with that being said, I'm gonna end this a little early because I don't see any more last minute questions. Not that I don't appreciate all 30 plus viewers that we hit, but I know that Brock said he has a last minute and he doesn't usually do anything on Sunday nights. Well, business wise, so this you consider this work if he wants to.
No, this is fun, man. I wanted to support your channel. Anybody, like I said, anybody who walks to Goodwill is good people in my book. So this is fun. I like doing the shows. I like getting the interaction. I do want to say one thing real quick if I can. A big part of we do YouTube because it's fun, but it's also like you were talking about Bonafide. Can I shout some people out? Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, Bonafide and Glenn and Cameron, the Redneck Picker, College Picker, all those guys made hundreds or thousands of videos, and they just they put that information out there, and that completely, this is gonna sound like a dadgum late night infomercial, that completely changed my life. Like, I did not have any intention of getting out of the military. I had no intention. I wanted to do my 20 and retire. That was my goal. I'd always wanted to be in the military, and then things changed, and thankfully, I had gotten into this part-time, and, it's those people that had put the information out there. The information out there, but what I did every day for 6 months at 8 p.m., I would watch a YouTube video on reselling. And I didn't just watch the fun ones. I watched the nitty-gritty ones where they're out there in it. And, still to this day, like, I watch YouTube videos. I watch the video game collecting channels. Craigslist Game Finds is an awesome channel. They do live spy cam footage, so you can see different games. So it's that constant you constantly need to be evolving and learning. And that's a big part of why I do YouTube, because I recognize, without those people doing that, I wouldn't have my business. I'd be working a 9 to 5 and hating it. So it's a lot of fun. I mean, YouTube's just a ton of fun, and it's a way to pay it forward to the next wave, to the next generation.
Yeah, I used to watch Glennon all the time. Guy wanted to get into the storage auctions.
Yeah, I tell you what, storage auction is crazy. So looks like, and we got one more question. Easy way to fail on just buying games in general. Yeah, go out. If you want to fail buying video games, go out and buy every sports game you can find. Most of them are not going to be worth money, as a general rule.
Oh, okay, yeah. And Chad wanted, I already agree what Chad said. He said that he puts out the information, but he has learned about 10 times what he has put out here as a YouTuber. So he said a lot in private chats too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, definitely. That's the thing. Yeah, the marketplace is always going to be evolving. The world's only getting smaller, so to speak. Everybody has iPhones. We compete against this with video games. People can go on Amazon on their phone and tell me what the game is worth at the garage sale. And that happens all the time. And that's when I just stand there and I just pull out $20 bills and I just start counting until they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll take that. That's when you learn to negotiate. And
okay, well, before I end this, now you gave me another question.
Okay.
Have you ever just turned around and walked away from somebody that had eBay pricing on their yard stuff, or did you turn around and say, you may say this is what it's buying, but this is what it's sold for? Right? That what they're getting is not necessarily what they're asking for, is not necessarily what the person's getting.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty. I'm a big fan of be nice and be respectful and be polite. But yeah, like we run into this all the time. I mean, Austin, we have Dell and we have Apple, we have the University of Texas. We have smart people. they're going to look their stuff up. So, that's something we compete against all the time. And, that's the time and say, okay, cool. How much money do you want for it? Because I get cash and I want to buy it right now. Worst case scenario, I don't ever leave, especially if it's video games or something I know is valuable. I always throw an offer out there. I had a GoPro this weekend. They had a $300 sticker on it. Offered them $100. I said, hey, listen, I said, I know this isn't what you want for it, but I give you $100 cash and I got $20 bills in my pocket, So if I do that 10 times, I get 2 profanity sentences back to me. I get a couple of people that will just walk away. Like they won't even acknowledge the fact that, like, they'll try to pretend like a kid, like when kids pretend they don't hear you. Like it cracks me up. People who don't want to negotiate, they'll just walk away. But a lot of people will counter. The guy with the GoPro, it was a 3, but I mean, this thing was almost brand new and had, like, he said he spent $150 on the accessories, and he was probably, I think he was telling me the truth. But he immediately said, I'd do $250 on it. And I said, man, that's just not where I can be on it. $100 is what I can do. But like I had a lady who I had a Nintendo lot, and you want to give yourself some wiggle room. Like, how much you want for it? And she wanted like 40, she wanted 40. So after 20, and then she said, how about 50? So she raised her price on me, which I just laughed. Like, that happened. I started laughing. I was like, no, this is what I do for a living. I know what the game's worth. I know what I can pay you. I really got to be in the 20 range. But as I'm walking away, I said, hey, if you want it though, I said, I'd swing heavy and I'd do $30 cash right now. And I'm almost to my truck, and she's like, hey, come back. Yeah, I'll take it. So, you got to throw out the offers, people, it's a garage sale. I do it a late sweep on garage sales, 11:30. I'm not paying you full price. I'm giving you a 10 cent on the dollar offer. I'm giving you something crazy low to take it. And I'll tell people, like, well, you want money or you want to take it to Goodwill? And like, you got to have some personality to be able to do that. You don't want to be mean, but if you got the personality, you can definitely, you can get some deals. That's where a lot of my personality helps in talking to people. Don't be a jerk, especially if you need a good deal.
Well, we have Elena in the comments, also known as Brett Rolla. So seems like we'll get ready to shut off, and now everybody shows up.
Yeah. They're like, wait, we want to hear the good stuff at the end.
Well, let's see if there's any more.
Yeah, we'll do our second last call.
I thought I saw one, but I can't catch it right now. So if I'm missing your question, please forgive me. I see why I value Sean so much when he was here. But like I said, he wants to have he has things that he wants to work on, his own ideas of things that he wants to do. So I'm giving him his space, and would like him to come back when he's ready or if he wants to. So with that being said, I am going to end the show, but I will share the link for an after show hangout. And Brock said he'll stay for a little while. Can't tie his arm up for too long. So thanks again, everybody, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate y'all coming out. Don't forget to give him a thumbs up and subscribe to him, the Walking Picker.